Live. And we are live. All right, Claro?
Welcome. Episode 42 already of Who the Heck Are We? And thank you so much for joining us for our episode with Patrick Deyto. But some promos before we get started. Who the Heck Are We is now a member of the Globally Ballin network. And our episodes are now on video too, to add to audio, of course. So we are on the YouTube page of Globally Ballin. So subscribe and hit that bell button. Other shows on the network, make sure to check them out. We have the Globally Ballin podcast of Aaron Aronson. Dive into the sporting opportunities around the world. Next up, we have 5 minutes with, it's an analysis-oriented show. So guys like Nico Salva get to break down their very own tape. And third, we have Hang Time with Denise Dinsay. It's been great with the upcoming professional league in the PVL. So do check that out for your volleyball fix. And last but not the least, from our sister shows, we have An Eternity of Basketball, Relive the Golden Era of Philippine Hoops with Noel, Charlie, and Sid. And we've got some new sponsors. Thank you so much for partnering up with Who the Heck Are We? We have Chops to Go, your tender, yummy chicken chops with crispy chips. And be sure to check out their branches, of course, when it's safe, in SM Bikutan, SM South Mall, and SM North EDSA. Last but not the least, we have Hiniluban. Get your delicious and healthy life from them, of course. Hiniluban again. Remember the name. All right, guys. So my name is Clara Manzano, and alongside me, of course, is the gang. We have Jay and Claudia to complete things. Episode 42. Let's bring in our guest, the number one
sponsors
of Suphan Buri FC in Thailand. Their starting goalkeeper, a Philippines international, one of the few homegrown Filipino players playing abroad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's bring him in. It's Patrick Deyto. Hi, Patrick.
There you
Hi,
go.
Patrick.
Hello. Hi, guys. Good evening.
You know, we know you just finished up your stint, well, your season in Thailand. And how's the place been treating you so far?
Oh, I love it here in Suphan Buri. Since I arrived, everybody was very warm to me. My teammates, my coaches, the entire staff, the club, and even the fans. You know, I formed an affinity with them. My first 4 or 5 games. So, it's been really a great, almost 2 years here in Suphan.
Speaking of the affinity with fans, it seems like you joined them in 2019 and you became a fan favorite. I think 2 reasons that I identified personally. Your goal was always was constantly bombarded, and we'd always hear the Thais with their accent go Deyto, and then you see you're making acrobatic saves left and right. The second would have to be your footwork. You've been messing around with attacking players. They'd charge at you and you'd fake them left and right. So given all that, again, the fans, did they mob you or some sorts there in Thailand? Or do you get rockstar treatment like when it's an Azkals game, or maybe even more extreme? How is it?
They're just very friendly. Everyone in the city is very friendly when they see me outside of the pitch. They greet me. Some people, they ask for photographs, and some people, they even chat with me a little bit. So Everybody's just been so friendly in Suphan Buri. They treat me like I was born and raised there. And like what you said, also, I think my performance obviously was the main reason why they like me instantly. I think that's very important for every player. If you perform, if you give your commitment and your effort to the club, then I think the fans will really love you for that.
And then before I carry on to Jay and Claudia, I remember you telling me way back in your first Azkals cap, it was Malaysia versus Philippines, and it was a crazy atmosphere. You said it was better than the Lasal Ateneo vibe. And maybe you can insert the Suphan Buri vibe. How does this compare to your first cap? I know they had to stop the game because of flares that were illegally brought
Yes,
in
yes.
by the home
Correct.
fans. And then there's Lasal Ateneo, of course, where it gets personal sometimes, yung Lasal Ateneo
True.
with players and fans. So how was it with this Thailand experience for you?
I think the first two examples that you said were a little bit more on the hostile side. With the Malaysia friendly, it was really hostile with the flares, and with the Sal Ateneo also. Even if it wasn't a lot of people, it was still hostile because people would give you unpleasant words in the side. But in here, especially the last game, I really think this was the game of my life up to date. The atmosphere was really amazing, but not in a hostile way. In more of a it's like a football party way. I don't know how to really explain it, but something like that. And the pressure of the big game, and being it being the last game of the league, wherein the other games counted for almost nothing. All eyes were really on the last game on us and Sukhothai, because our game, was the only game that had some value in it. Of course, we were fighting for survival. The other teams were already safe.
Yeah.
Bangkok Glass, they were already champions for, I think, the past 4 weeks already. They were declared champions. So the other games were non-bearing at all. So everybody was just watching our game, and it was really exciting. The stadium was almost full. It wasn't even supposed to be full. It was supposed to be almost.
Right.
It's only supposed to be half full because of COVID protocol. But I don't know what happened in the last 15 minutes. I think they just allowed people to enter. It was crazy. The atmosphere was really crazy. And then when we won, when the referee blew that final whistle, then it was a party. It was a party over there. So it was really great. It's something I've never experienced in my life.
Jay?
Yeah, here's the thing. For some of our viewers, because Patrick, your last match in the Thai League is for relegation, eh. And for some fans,
Yes.
I think they have no idea what relegation is, or how deep or how big if a team gets relegated to the lower league. So that really puts a lot of pressure. It's equal to a, perhaps to say the least, championship pressure, diba? So just
Yes.
tell us, how do you handle it? It's a pretty big deal, diba?
Yeah, it was a big deal. I think we had 3 days to prepare, and I was just really trying to get my mind out of it as much as I could, trying to do everything else but think about it. Of course, the pressure was coming every day that passes by. The pressure and I become more nervous and more nervous every single day. But when I feel it, I just try to redirect my attention somewhere else, so that I don't think about it. And because if I stay calm and just be all right with it, then I will be in an ideal state to play the game. So that's what I just try to do until the game itself.
So that is the story behind that final game of yours. So now, could you tell us perhaps the atmosphere when you first got there in Thailand? Your very first match in the Thai League. What was it like compared to the last match? Meron din bang pressure nung sa una? Is there any pressure to perform
Baka may
in your very
wow,
first match?
crazy place. Yeah.
My first match, it was funny. My first match was also against Sukhothai. Now that I think about it, it was against the same team. Um, there was not too much pressure in the game. It was just another league game. There was not too much people. I think it was only 2,000, 3,000 people at that time compared to the 9,000 last game. And but
Still a
for
lot
me,
of people.
for me,
Still a lot of
yeah, it's a lot. But for me personally, the pressure was big because it was my first game abroad, my first game to prove a point to this team. You know, if your first game doesn't go well, then people will just start not trusting you from that point on, and you can just go downward spiral from there. So it was really important that I played a good game that game. You know, I didn't try to do too much. I just told myself that I just have to play a decent game to play the way that I play, and that's what I did. We didn't win that game, but we didn't lose either, so it ended in a draw, 1-1 draw. But I think I played well enough, you know, for my first game, and then I just tried to build on that. So, but the pressure before the game on myself was big. Really, I was really nervous. Also, it was my first time, as I've said, first time playing away from home. You know, in another country, in a different league. I didn't even know if I could really measure up to the level in this league. So it was something. It's like going to the unknown. You know, it was very uncomfortable for me, but to get out of it, okay. You know, it just proves that I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah. One last question before I pass this ball to Claudia. Was there any case of loss in translation? I mean, you have your Thai teammates.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, does your teammates speak English or
No,
is it your
it's a
teammates?
really good question. It's a really good question. I was surprised actually when I got here that they spoke almost zero English. It was crazy. Not even one word English they couldn't speak. If I say left or right, they would not understand me. So in this case, you know, I just tried to make an effort myself to learn even the small words really quickly. So the left, the right, the up and the down, this kind of things. The terms that I usually use in the game. These are the things that I try to learn as quick as possible. Just the one word. So this is the effort that I put to be able to communicate properly with my teammates. But I think what you said is really unavoidable for this situation because I cannot speak Thai fluently. They cannot speak English fluently. So we cannot communicate as well as I would want to. But you know, we use other ways like body language, eye contact, and you know, like what I said, like saying those small words, the one word phrase. I try to make an effort. Now I can speak a little bit of Thai, so that helps a lot. And also that shows them that I'm trying to learn their language. You know, that I'm interested, that I'm committed to the team. So they respect me more for that also.
Oo. Baka magamit rin ni Patrick yung mukha niya na pag may ituturo siya, gonna use his mouth. There.
Pinoy style. Pinoy style. Yes.
You know, you gotta use what you have to. You know?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Use everything at your disposal. Claudia, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, Patrick, you mentioned that you wanted to prove yourself coming to the Thailand. No. What kind of proof did you want to show? Was it for the Filipinos or was it for the local Thai fans?
Neither. It was really for myself. You know, I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it over here because there were a lot of people already asking me way before, why don't I play abroad? Why don't I go here and do that? And it was not that simple. And I was really happy playing the Philippines, to be honest with you guys. And you know, this opportunity came, and unfortunately, the PFL was really in a state that is, I don't know, I cannot think of a better word, but deteriorating at that time. So I really had to take that opportunity because I had to think also of practicality reasons, you know, for my future. And I really wanted to prove to myself that, okay, if I can do it here, then this can be a starting point of something big for my career, you know.
Okay, you're a goalkeeper, no? I'm sure not a lot of in the football team, not a lot of people get the goalkeeper position, no? When you heard that call, yeah, right? And even I'll even ask later about the training on how you train on your own, no? But in terms of your position in goalkeeping, how did you get that? Why did you want to stay as a goalkeeper?
I started goalkeeper very early. That was my first position when I played when I was really really young, like a kid.
Mm.
And
Mm.
throughout the years, I tried different other positions that worked out well for me. But there came a point in time that no, like what you said, nobody really wanted to play a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Only some
Really?
players would want to play goalkeeper, yeah, in the team.
Everyone
And
wants to score.
at that time, the whole team, we said to ourselves that, "Hey, we need a regular goalkeeper if you want to be successful." That was in high school in De La Salle Zubel. So I just decided, okay, since I was a goalkeeper before, I had the experience. I think I'm the best candidate here to be the regular goalkeeper. So since then, I think that was second year high school. Since then, I just stayed as a goalkeeper all throughout until today.
Well, okay, Claro, you have a
Mhm.
question?
Who would have thought you make that switch or this permanent decision in second year? I'm
Yeah.
gonna be goalkeeper, and being a goalkeeper just got you a playing gig abroad.
Yeah,
Good.
I
That's right.
never thought of it as well. It's just how life turns out. Sometimes you just have to trust that things will fall into place for you.
But maybe months into that permanent switch or decision of being goalkeeper, did you get that idea already? Hey, I think I can go all the way with this position. This is what will get me to college, or
Mm.
maybe even the leagues that succeed, which was the UFL back then, and then now the PFL. Did you get that idea ever in your head?
Yeah, at some point. But initially, I just really wanted to be a goalkeeper to help the team because we didn't have a goalkeeper, as I mentioned. But you're right. At I think it was almost college when I thought of the competition. That if I'm a goalkeeper, I think the competition is less, and I have a better chance to be successful. Because if I am gonna play an attacker or a midfielder or a defender, there's more players to compete with in that position with other teams or with your current team. So yeah, at some point in time, I had that thought, and yeah, I think it served me well. It served me well.
So,
I
like
see.
a bit
Great
less
to hear.
competition, but how was it here inside for your role with Suphan Buri? Did they come knocking and say, or an agent go, "Oh, hey, these guys need a keeper. They saw your tape. We're gonna get you." Is that how it worked out for you guys, or did you try to approach some agents to find you a
No,
playing
no.
gig?
There was just one morning when I woke up, I saw a message in my phone, and it was an agent that I never knew in my whole life.
Wow.
Wow.
Apparently, it was
Mm.
from Scott Cooper. Scott Cooper's agent. Scott Cooper's the
Ah,
agent. So
Coach Scott.
Scott, I think, recommended me to him. So he messaged me that this team needs a goalkeeper, and at first, I didn't really believe it because I've had that messages also before. That some teams are interested in you, like this and like that. Never really materialized. So I thought it was one of those. And then, 4 days after, 5 days after, I was already flying to Thailand. It's crazy.
Ay,
Easy.
dali
Wow.
lang, Claudia.
Quick.
I think I was gonna cover what was going to be your last PFL game. It was supposed to be Stallion at home versus Ceres. And there
Correct.
was so much hype into that game because at that point in time, only Stallion got Ceres to drop points. And then the game
Correct.
ended because of rain. Bummer. That would have been a good game to call,
Right.
but it is
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah. Claudia?
Yeah. Okay. No.
Cool.
Okay, for goalkeeper, there's certain skills and technique for goalkeeping. No. What is your philosophy for goalkeeping? Are you attacking? Or are you always staying in the near the goal? And how's your training style? Of course, it's different from the field. No.
Yeah. So your first question is, I really try to have an overall complete approach to the game. I would like to. It's my how do you say this? My goal to be a complete goalkeeper. I work on my distribution. I work on my shot stopping. I work on my interception of crosses. My 1v1s, everything. I don't want to be known for one particular trait,
Hmm.
which a lot of goalkeepers really thrive on and try to work on themselves. But I would really like to be a complete goalkeeper. I might not be the best at one particular trait, but at least I'm complete, and I think that's a better way to do things. And I'm always evolving my technique or my perception of the game, because if I learn something new, then I'm not gonna be stubborn not to change my old ways if I have to. If I find a better way to do things, you know. So that's my philosophy of playing the position. With your next question, my training style obviously is different. I have a special training with a goalkeeper coach. This is the case with every club, even during my time in the Philippines. Of course, the program is determined by the goalkeeper coach. So I give my 100% effort and commitment to the training, and I trust that it will work in the game.
Wow.
So they make it really easy for us. We don't have to think of anything. It's just the goalkeeper coach will have to come up with a plan, and we just have to do it, and then it should translate to the game.
Did you have who was your idol in terms of your goalkeeping?
My idol was David De Gea for the longest time, because I thought that, first of all, he played for Manchester United, which is my favorite club.
Okay.
And second was because I thought that we have a similar body type. That
Right.
A lot of people were telling me before that I'm too skinny to be at this level. I'm too skinny to play at a high level. But seeing someone who is skinny doing it in the highest level in the world just gives you that motivation that anybody could do it. Your body type is not a hindrance. As long as you play the game the right way, then you should be successful.
Wow.
But now I'm really a big fan of Kasper Schmeichel, because I think that he's a complete goalkeeper. He's not good at one particular trait, but overall he's a good goalkeeper.
Mhm.
And that's the good thing, no? Like what you mentioned, you don't want to be just standing there or just one-dimensional player. No, you really want to be a whole kind of
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
It's like
one
you
more
don't want
question.
to.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
It's like you don't want to see anybody. It's like you don't want to hear anybody see some loopholes in your game. So it's like you're a complete goalkeeper. I think that's
That's
what
right.
I really prefer.
Last question before I pass it on to you, Jay or Claro. Did you ever lose your voice from screaming?
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Not anytime. Not recently, but definitely I've experienced that before.
Diba? Goalkeepers are always the ones screaming.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They're
Jay?
they're like the Draymond Green of the pitch, because they have the one who needs to coordinate the defense, diba?
Yeah.
You have to tell your guys, your defenders, hey, you gotta guard that right corner, diba? Walang tao. They're gonna send that ball. There's a person open there. And
Yeah,
but I'm
that's a good
curious,
analogy.
Patrick. But I'm curious. What was the other position that you played in football other than being a goalkeeper?
I was an attacker before. I tried, like every kid's
Really?
dream. Everybody wants to score a goal. Everybody wants to be, especially at the grassroots level, because there's a lot of games that ends 13-0, 15-0, 10-0. And if you're a goalkeeper at that game, you're gonna be bored to death, and you're gonna feel like you're not even part of the team. When the team celebrates, you feel like I didn't do anything. How can I celebrate with everybody?
Clean sheet.
So you want to be involved, and at that age, you want to play. You want to be part of the team. You want to feel like you're important. So that's why I ended up trying that position. And to be honest, I did really well. I really didn't want to leave that position. But like I said, we needed a goalkeeper, and I was the best candidate, really. So I had to do it.
And you're tall,
Thankfully, I
right?
did.
You're
Yeah, it's
tall.
also the height.
Yes, and
height
he's tall.
also. Correct.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's the sad thing about being the goalkeepers, because if your team was able to score a goal against the opponent, diba? I mean, those guys are in the other side of the field. Then while you, the goalkeeper, you would wish you want to celebrate with those guys, but man, the other side of the field is so far. I don't want to run there anymore, diba?
Exactly.
Yeah, grabe, no?
Tano, go ahead.
Bouncing off Jay, was there ever a time in your youth days where they said, "Oh, go, you're a keeper, but we'll let you go up the pitch, try to score a goal." Did you ever get that license in one game, perhaps?
I did. I had that a few times. Even when I was in Global, I was able to do it one time. But definitely for La Salle, I was able to do it. I just can't remember exactly when and what game, but I was able to do it. And didn't amount to anything. So, after a few tries, you just tell yourself, it's really not your job. Just stay where you are and allow them. Sometimes you just need to allow them to do their job and to trust them to do their job. So.
But that's right, diba, Clara? There's some certain place or there's some coaches that let their goalkeepers go on the offensive side, parang the surprise 11th person on that offensive line of the team, diba? Magugulat ka na lang, bigla may mag-header na goalkeeper eh.
Yeah.
It depends on the coach's philosophy.
And sometimes you're down in aggregate, you're chasing goal difference.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the Patrick. You've seen the changes of. That's a good thing that Jay said. I'm sure you've seen the changes of how football was when it was played back like 10, 15 years ago. Now to how it is in football. Could you tell us the differences that you've seen? Not only in local, not just the Philippines or even in Asia, but as a whole.
Oh well, I think one of the biggest differences I see now in the modern football that they call it is the playing out of the back. Now
That's right.
where before it was perfectly fine to kick the ball as far as you can to get the danger out of your area, but at this era, you have to be able to play out the back even through pressure situations. You have to be good at your feet. You have to be accurate with your passing. You have to be able to make decisions quickly. The game is evolving. There are a lot of much better players who can do things that couldn't have done before. There are a lot of coaches who have very good tactics that bring new dimensions to the game. So. But I think that's the biggest change that I've seen in the last few years is the playing out the back and the keeping possession dimension of the game. It's much more important now. It's much more highlighted also by the media, by the football analysts, and I think it's something that players must be technically better at. Before some players could survive by just being strong, fast, kicking the ball as far as you can. Now you really have to be good with your feet. You really have to be good with playing with the ball.
So
that's the biggest change I've seen.
Clear! You just cleared that, diba?
Yes, exactly.
Diba? Clear.
Before this is normal. Now when you do it, some coaches frown on you. That why are you just kicking the ball to nowhere? But sometimes that's what you need to do. But they demand so much from the players now. It's like I said, the game has just evolved, and you just have to evolve also.
That's right.
But
that's true.
Has that given you satisfaction, maybe, or maybe a bit more? I know that you embraced your role as keeper already, and you love the clean sheet, just like every other goalkeeper. But playing out of the back, you're involved more. Sometimes not sometimes, but it's common that the back line is cornered and they got to pass it to you, or you have a bigger role now in distribution. Has that given you more satisfaction to maybe the 10-year-old Patrick Deyto, like, oh, look at me now, the modern game, I get to support the offense more because of how I support playing out of the back and how you have to distribute very well?
Definitely. I take pride in that, and but I don't also try to get too caught up on that, because I don't want to make a mistake also in that manner, because when you make a mistake in that manner, that can really be like I said earlier, also it can be really a downward spiral. So I try to cater to the needs of the team, but if I don't have a choice, I'd rather be safe also than to make a mistake. So sometimes if I have to kick the ball as far as I really do, I do it. And I just tell my teammates or my coaches after the game, if it gets tough, that at that situation I felt like I had to do it. I trust myself, and I cannot risk the team, in that situation.
One more thing before we carry on with our sponsor. There's the risk you said of playing out at the back, of maybe losing the ball and that's it. You give up a goal.
Yeah.
But we got to see your confidence.
Yeah.
You messing around with attacking players with your footwork again. That became a big thing, I can say, on the
Yeah.
Philippines Football League Fans United thing, and everyone's like, damn, this isn't just one game where they pulled out highlights. It was a lot of games. And I don't know if you got that tag with the Thai strikers of being annoying in that sense.
Trash
And
talking
That
ba?
level of comfort.
not even trash talking. It's the footwork doing the talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
that
Exactly.
level of confidence, that level of comfort, diba?
Yeah.
That's equivalent of Jomo Jordan as a keeper, maybe. For the benefit of basketball fans listening to this podcast. When did you get so confident in your footwork? Because I recall your second cap against Azerbaijan and you were a bit nervous. Hindi pa talaga sobrang uso yung playing out of the back for Pinoys then. When did your confidence get that high? Were you just working on juggling and getting confident with your footwork slowly, or did the situation in Suphan Buri just pave way?
No, I think ever since, even when I was in college, I really knew I had the ability to play with my feet because, like what I said to you guys also earlier, I played attacker when I was a kid for a few years. So I have that feeling for the ball at my feet. I had the experience of dribbling, of even shooting, passing the ball many times, and stuff like that. So, of course, as my career progressed, I just became also confident little by little. But I had confidence in my ability ever since with my footwork. So it was not something that I developed to cater to the needs of the game. It was really something that I already had even before, and I just had to enhance it, and I just had to build up my confidence to use it even in this position.
Okay, so let's carry on with our sponsors. So anyway, thank you again for tuning in to Who the Heck Are We? So we are a member now of the Globally Ballin network. So do not forget to search us on YouTube now to add to our audio platforms and hit that subscribe button and the bell. Carrying on, we have the Globally Ballin podcast as our sister show wherein you get to look into the different sporting opportunities around the world with Aaron Aronson. And next up, we have the analysis-oriented show in 5 minutes with, again, athletes here get to break down their tape. So that's a different level of analysis, if you ask me. Third, we have Hang Time for volleyball with Denise Densai. Again, we have the upcoming professional league later on this year. So check out that show for your volleyball news and scoops. And last but not the least, for our sister shows, we have An Eternity of Basketball. I'm not going to say it, Claudia and Jay, but you get to relive the golden era
Say,
of Philippine basketball. Go ahead, Jay. I'll let you say it.
they're old.
All right, it wasn't me. And carrying on again, thank you very much for sponsoring this episode. We have Chops to Go. We are tender, yummy chicken chops with crispy chips. Check out the branches of Chops to Go in SM Bikutan, SM South Mall, and SM North EDSA, of course, when it is safe. So guys, stay home. Last but not the least, Hinaluban, your delicious and healthy adlay. Know the name again. Note that there. Follow them on social media so you can see on the screen. Anyway, back to our conversation.
Noel is gonna kill me when we see each other.
Damn it, Jay. Anyway, like real quick. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I mean, I was just about to ask Patrick, since Patrick, the Thai league just finished right there, and we know that you're still in Thailand right now. But I'm just pretty curious because I think you're well aware of what is happening here in the Philippines. I mean, the pandemic's just getting worse here. The cases are
Yes.
piling up here. So we're just curious, how is Thailand. How's Thailand's response to the pandemic so far? I mean, the people back there, what are their movements, their psyche, what they think about, or what also perhaps you can share to us what the government is doing on the ground.
In here in Thailand, it's almost back to normal. It's really good. I've been going I've been going around a lot since, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. It's really,
Mhm.
I cannot say what they did that controlled the surge of COVID cases, but everybody here wears a mask. They're very disciplined, and I think it's because of, I don't know how you call this, their form of government. They have a king. It's not like us.
Yes.
It's not democracy. I don't know how you call it. Something like this.
It's in
So I think
monarchy, I
it
So monarch.
Monarchy.
Yep.
maybe I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but yeah. But because of the king, if the king says something, everybody follows.
Yeah.
So they're scared of the king. So if the
Yeah.
king says this, then they'll follow. And I think that's one of the main reasons also why. And in addition is, the way that they greet people. No, there's no contact. Even before COVID, they just really they bow and they do this. So
Yes.
I think the spread of virus also um, was very minimal because of that. But with the government, what they did and everything, I really didn't know specifically, but the cases are just really very low. Ever since we had a little bit of surge during the New Year,
Mhm.
um, but that was because of the Myanmar workers who crossed the
Yeah.
border without going through quarantine. Because here in Thailand, for you to
Yeah.
come inside, you need to stay 15 days quarantine before you go outside. So it's 2 COVID tests plus 15 days quarantine. So it's really, once you get out of quarantine, then I think it's safe to say that you don't have the virus with you. So I think that's also a good thing that they did, because the Philippines, I'm not sure if there's quarantine. I don't think there is. I think it's only recently that they implemented a 6 day, 7 day quarantine. I'm not sure.
From my observation, yung quarantine dito depende.
Yeah,
Depende
I've heard
talaga.
I've heard some of my former teammates coming back to Philippines, and they told me, there was no quarantine. I just went straight home. And I said, in Thailand you can't do it. You have to 16 days quarantine. You need so many documents, and my fiance had a really hard time coming here. So I know all the steps that we needed that needed to be patient.
But did you have a hard lockdown where like, okay, guys, no games, like all of you just gotta stay home and do your Zoom training or training online? Did you have that?
It was not a hard time, but it was something that I never experienced before. I think all of us were new to it. I just worked on my well-being. I took the opportunity to work on my well-being.
Mhm.
Of course, being alone was a little bit sad, but thankfully for technology, you could FaceTime family back home, friends back home, and we stopped training for about a month and a half. So
Short lang.
yeah, I just
Oh,
took an
yeah.
opportunity to travel on my own, which I
Yeah.
never did before. So
Oh,
I
wow.
traveled on my own to some places that are nearby, and then yeah, before you know it, we had to start training again. So it's not so hard, but being alone was, I think, the biggest challenge for me, because I was alone for 10 months. Aside from being with my teammates, and then thankfully my fiance was able to come here New Year.
Yeah. I got a question. No? You mentioned the in a way your mental toughness. How is it going into a game? How do you prepare yourself? Do you have any game rituals or any kind of superstition before you head
Mhm.
into the game? Or how's your mindset? How do you get yourself into a perfect zone?
I meditate a lot on game
Okay.
day, bro. That really keeps my mind empty, because I want to go to the game without thinking of anything. It's my belief that my body knows what to do. I've been playing this game for how many years? I've been training. every single day. So when I come to the game, my body knows what to do. If I think about it, then that will just be counterproductive, in my opinion. So I just have to allow myself to perform naturally, and I try to stay as calm, as relaxed as possible, and I try not to really think about it until the game itself. Just keep my mind out of it. Try to read some books before the game, or just chat with people. Keep my mind off of it until the game itself. That's how I prepare.
Relax ka.
Relax.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
do you have that pre-game meal? Maybe I have to eat this for breakfast or lunch, maybe, or do you have a secret pastime maybe there? Like I eat this before the game.
I just eat pasta on game days.
Carbo
And
load.
yeah,
Carbo load.
pasta on game days,
Yeah.
and I try not to eat pork or beef the night before and the game day itself. So it's all chicken, and the last meal before the game should be pasta for me. Yeah, carbohydrates. Pasta, potatoes, and stuff.
Are you strict? Maybe it has to be the specific pasta dish like bolognese or aglio olio, you
No,
name it, or not exactly.
Anything.
Not exactly. As long as it's good, I eat pesto pasta, bolognese, aglio olio. I also like, and
Uh-huh.
as long as it's good, yeah, I will eat it.
Do you like the Thai food
Basta
there?
may sauce.
I love Thai food.
Oh,
I
pad
love
thai.
it. Do you? Pad
Pad
Thai,
Thai.
right?
Crazy.
Oh my god.
Crazy guys.
Mango sticky
Thai
rice.
food is good. It's just really spicy. It's just really spicy, and I have a really low tolerance for spice.
Oh no.
If you guys
Yun
if you guys
lang.
know the chips V-cut, that's my maximum tolerance for
Ooh.
spice.
Vikat's not
Okay.
even
Really?
spicy.
Hey,
That's my maximum. That's my
barbecue
maximum
gets.
tolerance for spice.
But that's not spicy. So when you
I
go
like the
when you,
It
eat
is
in
not
a,
true.
when you eat in a restaurant, so you have to specifically tell them not spicy.
Yeah, which is I memorized the phrase "my pet." It
That's
means
why
not
is
spicy.
that one of the first phrases that you had to learn?
Yeah, it is. It was.
What's it
I have
called?
to say it all the time.
How do you say it?
My pet.
My
My
pet.
is no. My is no. Pet is spicy.
No
So
spicy.
no
got it.
My pet.
spicy. And sometimes they would tell me, no, this is only pet noi. Pet noi is a little bit spicy. So
Mhm.
before I would trust them. Okay, it's a little bit spicy. But when I eat it, it's not little spicy. It's super spicy for me. So I never trusted them every time.
Yo,
Every time.
Taas ng
We
level
had
ng
to-
spicy nila, no?
man,
Ibang
it-
level.
no. And the thing is, I think Patrick, perhaps you missed that training on eating on the streets of Taft Avenue because all the foods there have that
Yes.
spicy taste there. Also on the back of La Salle, diba? There's some lineup of foods right there. But anyways, talk about perhaps you're for sure may nakuha, you got something to add to your game here in the Thai League, and for sure you're gonna get called up to play for the Azkals. What is the additional aspect, or what other additional what do you call this accessories or something add-ons to your game that you could deliver, that you could bring once you play for the Azkals next time?
I think most of all is my confidence. Ever since I went to Thailand, my confidence grew really high. My experience also for big games. Playing week in week out with big crowds, with in big occasions. I get used to this environment, to this pressure, and with the increased level of confidence I have, if needed, then I think I can really perform much better for national team. The last time I played for national team was 2018 against Vietnam, Suzuki Cup semifinals, if I'm not mistaken. And I think from that time I've grown so much the last 2 years that I think I can deliver a much better performance if given a chance, to play for national team.
Yes,
Like
and
just
go
go ahead,
ahead,
James,
Clara.
after you. For the record of like the fans, that was your last appearance, but we know that you were called up like to pretty much all the Azkals games afterwards with the World Cup qualifiers and everything.
Mm.
But you're jumping ship with the Azkals. How did this Azkals experience help you for Thailand? Because in the Suzuki Cup in 2014, you were the number one keeper of the Azkals. By my count, alone in the Suzuki Cup, that was 5 caps. And out of the 5
Right.
caps, you played against Thailand twice. And
Yes.
Thailand really made it tough for the Philippines.
Yeah.
How did that help you playing against certain players, playing in Raja Mangala Stadium? And I think Amani Aguinaldo even got death threats before the game in Raja Mangala
Really?
because he picked up a red card. No. He got Adisak to elbow him in the face, and Adisak picked up a red card. So
Yeah,
Amani
correct.
got death threats heading into Raja Mangala. How did this
Man.
experience playing Thailand, the Thai national team, groom you for this? Maybe my content expectations ka na before your first Suphan Buri game.
Yeah, obviously playing a few games for the national team. Up to this point, I think I've 17 or 18 caps. Playing those games for the national team exposed me to a higher level of football. When there's the caliber that you don't see in the local league. Getting to play in big stadiums with much bigger crowds than our local league. So this gave me the experience needed to perform the same circumstances here in Thailand, because like I said, here in Thailand, we play in big stadiums with big crowds. The players are also really good. That their level is really, there are a lot of Brazilians here, so the level is really high. So being exposed to the national team, which is a high level of football, obviously prepared me for this, and I was able to gauge, what I could expect from the game.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Patrick, do you think you hit your ceiling?
I don't think so. I'm 31. For a goalkeeper, I think I have 2 to 3 more years in my prime before I start plateauing or descending down. So I think I have a good couple more years, especially this is just my first full season in Thailand. Last year I only had half a season. This year is my first full season in Thailand. So I
Nice.
learned so much this year, and I cannot wait to apply everything that I've learned next year. Really.
Nice.
Pero again,
Yes.
bouncing off your Suzuki Cup experience, we'll get to you, Jay. Did you play
Yes,
against
go ahead.
any guys from the Thai national team when you were the starting keeper? And then maybe you played against them now, or they're your teammates? Like, I think yung
I played-
kamukha ni OJ Porteria is in the Thai league also. So it was a big deal. OJ's like, oh, I'm with my brother. Do you have any, any guys that you're meeting again?
A lot. I played with almost all of them. I played with a couple in the team who was there, and I know so many Thai players also. So again, it's good that I'm building my network. That I'm getting to meet new people, new friends. They're all good guys, and very good technically, but very humble. When you get to know them, they're very humble and very respectable. But I did. Krokrit, I played against him here. He was there in Thailand. Sharil Shapui, he was there in Thailand. I played against him here.
Yes. There's a man up
Adisak,
front.
obviously.
Adisak.
Tanabun, the young defender back then, I played against him here. Adisorn, I played against him here, and so on and so forth. Siro is the one that looks like OJ. I played against him 2-3 times already. So I remember all of them, and I obviously most of them play in the Thai league, so I got to play against them this year. Almost all of them.
We have our scouting
Even-
report when we play Thailand, eh?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I think most of the Azkals players, we know everybody from Thailand. So when we play, if we play Thailand, we'll be very familiar with how they play.
I'd love to again now. And then pang gimmick, no, maybe the players will put in all the Thai League guys. It'll be just for gimmick. But I don't think it. I know Coach Scott, of course, will pick his guys among
Yes,
the training camp, of course. Jay, you got something?
Wait, just one more Azkals question. If Patrick, you're gonna get called in the Azkals for one more time, you're gonna meet your teammates there, and for sure you're aware that your upcoming teammates, once you get called to the Azkals, are really, really young, and you're gonna be one of the leaders. I don't want to say veteran, because like you said, you're not yet at your ceiling. You're
Yeah.
not yet at your peak. But like you mentioned,
Understood.
but you're going to lead perhaps you're going to have a younger team right there. So I'm just curious, what's gonna be your approach to your teammates, their young teammates, once you start training, once you start that actual match towards to an AFC Cup or to the World Cup or other national team appearances?
As much as possible, I want to be the light-hearted guy. I want to be
Good cop.
the guy who I want to be the guy who's bringing humor, bringing joy to the training sessions. Trying to relieve the pressure, especially from the young guys, because I've been there. I know how they feel if they have to play for the first time or they have to train for the first time for national team. Some of them will be very tense. Some of them will be very nervous. So being able to just break the tension to those players, crack a smile to them, is something that I want to do, because you want to help the players in those small ways, to show them that you understand what they're going through, and to make them feel more comfortable. I think that's the best phrase to describe it. I want to make them feel more comfortable with the team, with the setting, because I've been there. Like I've been there, and I would have loved somebody to make me feel that way when I was there, when I was a new player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Patrick's gonna play the good cop. I wonder who's gonna be the bad cop.
Yeah. I don't know. I cannot say anything in this.
It's tough. Ang daming veterans, from the 2011 World Cup qualies. But great answer, of course. I'm looking forward to the next stint of yours with the Azkals. And come to think of it, during your first caps, you were the starting keeper right away. There wasn't really a kuya to just say, hey, this is how you do it. That's how you do it. So anyway, another thing before we wrap up our conversation and head to the quick fire round, you have your experience in Thailand, and that is like the number one sport there. It's a religion. Do you intend to maybe in the future support grassroots? Are you gonna put up a goalkeeping academy maybe for kids to show them how it's done overseas?
That crossed my mind, obviously. I also want to take up my goalkeeping course when I finish playing. I want to challenge myself, if I can pass the licensing course in the Philippines. So I want to see if I can do it, but I'm gonna do that when I finish playing. I thought of putting up a goalkeeping clinic, and I actually tried to do a small one before. It was much more difficult than I thought. It's difficult to organize the thing itself, the event itself, but it's something that really gave me joy, gave me fulfillment. But my interest now has shifted to a little bit more towards sports psychology, and that's what I really want to pursue after I play football, because I understood just a few years ago how important it is to the game, and I don't see sports psychology being emphasized in the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's such an important part of the game. I think it's equally important as the physical aspect. If we train our body every day, technically, why don't we train our mind to play the game the right way, to handle the pressure and everything? Because if your mind is right, then your body will follow. So this is something that I've really taken interest in lately, and what I want to pursue when I finish my career. Hopefully it's possible.
Let's bring up this segment, if and when that practice of yours comes to fruit, or if it's something that you pursue. Great answer. But anyway, before we push
Great
through or
answer.
carry on to the quick fire round, do you have a message to your fans maybe back there in Thailand and to here in the Philippines maybe? Some Thai words, English, Filipino.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's supporting me, supporting Suphan Buri FC, supporting Azkals also. I hope that in the difficult moments, all of you are safe and we can use football to to feel better as a community and to also give us a sense of togetherness, in this difficult time.
Okay. So anyway, that wraps up our formal conversation. Let's jump into the quick fire round where you simply just give your straight up answers. No need to explain. Some guys feel the need to do so when they give some answers that are unpopular, whether it be from food to you name it. So I could start, followed by Claudia, then Jay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the thing you miss the most in the Philippines, other than family,
Food.
is there any specific dish?
A lot. But the first thing that popped in my mind now is kare-kare. I
Oh,
miss it so
God.
much.
Perfect.
Goodness.
Okay. So the next one, maybe you can name one in the Philippines. Your favorite restaurant.
Gilligan's.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. I like that answer. Okay.
Well, it's associated with
Yeah,
played for
exactly.
that team. Okay.
I'm gonna show this to Nico Alquiros, by the way. We're good friends. We're classmates. Shout out, Nico. What's up, Shelby? Anyway, let's say there is eat all you can Gilligans, only rice with you name it. You get to
Yeah, I think
bring
so.
3 teammates with you. You will eat only rice and Gilligans. These teammates can be from Zobel all the way up to Thai League. Any of your teammates. Name 3 guys who will join you.
Probably Amani would join me for sure. Dennis would join me.
Villanueva.
And yeah, there's Villanueva. Sorry, there's Villanueva.
Uh-huh.
And Kurt Dizon.
Oh,
Kurt Dizon.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, I got it. You got one more?
The last one for Claudia. The most difficult striker to stop in the Thai League.
Betty Fernandez.
Is he Brazilian? I think.
Yeah, Brazilian from now
Brazilian.
in Bangkok United.
Okay. Okay. We'll take note of that name.
Okay.
Claudia?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Pat, you won an award when you were in, I believe, in La Salle. You were a goalkeeper. You got a goalkeeper trophy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say that there was an earthquake in your house, right? And you had to choose the memorabilia that you have to take with you. So you have your goalkeeper award for the UAAP, your first Azkals jersey, or your first Thai League jersey.
This is a tough one. I only get to say one of
Yeah.
the 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's a dilemma.
Got him, Claudia.
I'll probably save the Azkals first cap. I think
Azkals first cap.
Uh-huh.
That's a really proud moment for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Amoy usok yan from the flares.
But I would be really sad with the other 2.
It doesn't make them less. You'll just grab the Azkals,
Yeah.
jersey. Okay. My second question. Okay. Batwoman, Batgirl, or Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Okay. And then last, Ateneo or La Salle? I just want to hear this.
Oh, you know the answer. Come on.
I just wanna, hear it
You just,
in the
you
podcast.
just want to put a smile on the face of Claro.
Yeah, and my face as well, right? So
I'm laughing.
I'm laughing. All right. Okay, Jay.
Wait. Here we
Jay's
go.
the hard guy, by the
Matieras-
way. He's the hard round.
No, not a hard round, man. It's gonna be easy. But
Go,
Matieras
go,
was
go.
in the podcast last year, and
Mhm.
we we had a quick fire with him as well. But his question was, if he is in a penalty shootout situation, he's gonna be the one kicking, and his goalkeeper is Neil Etheridge and you. Matt Niera said he's gonna score against you. Now here's the question: if you're the goalkeeper and Matt Nieras is the one shooting, how many shots would you think Matt Nieras needs before he can score a goal on you?
Oh, probably 2 or 3. It's difficult to save 2 or 3 straight penalties.
3 shots.
Let's say 2.
Wow.
I'm gonna say with 2. It's really difficult.
Okay, 2 shots. Okay. Okay. Here's the last one. I'm sure you miss Coach Hans Smith, right? You miss
Legendary
Hans.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what if you get the chance to play a video game with Coach Hans Smith? FIFA. You get to play FIFA 9 or FIFA 2021 with Coach Hans Smith. How do you think? How long will it take before Coach Hans Smith breaks the controller because he said that he can't get it?
Probably 3-4 minutes.
Ganun kabilis. Ganun kabilis.
That was fast. Glad I'm good.
Okay.
That's good. That was good.
We gotta tell Matt. We gotta tell Matt that Patrick thinks he needs to shoot twice before he can score a goal. Anyway.
I'll let them know when work. Yeah. Anyway, just for the record of Patrick and our new listeners, welcome aboard. Matt, what Jay asked before, Coach Ernie and Coach Hans play FIFA, PlayStation against each other.
Oh, that's a
And
good
how long
question.
and who will win? Or I think something like who will win, no, Jay?
Yeah.
And then Matt said that both of them
Who's
will
gonna
break the
controller
console.
first?
Ayun. Matt said that they'll break the machine. Just to share with Patrick. So
Probably right. Yeah.
so anyway, that's it for our quick fire round. But we got something here just to show you. We want you to break down some tape. Hold on, I think it's loading at the moment.
But
And
we're still, who the heck are we? You just click on the well button while we're at it. So
I
Yeah.
think it's on the link.
I'm gonna.
Is it-
Oh, there you go, Patrick. Please break down this play for us. The save.
boom! Look at that.
This
So we
was
can-
this was
Your
against
champ-
Champions Rovers, right?
Yeah, your
My very
Champions
first
League
Champions League
debut.
debut. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, so I can play it again. Maybe you could walk us through this save of yours.
It's against Khairul Amri, on the save of Singapore, and I just guessed right. He shot it a little bit high, so I had to use my top hand to save that because my right hand was already going down. But we were leading 2-0, so the pressure was on the kicker. I didn't have any pressure with the penalty, so I just guessed one way, and I got a gut feel that he was going to go to my right, and he did. And I was able to get a small touch near the crossbar, which is enough to preserve the clean sheet.
Ganda ng save.
Great way to end this show. Patrick, thank you so much again for joining Who the Heck Are We? And I think that's all for now. We'll put you backstage as we'll just wrap up. That was a blast. Guys.
It was good.
I
It was
enjoyed
good.
catching up
Yeah.
with Patrick,
Yeah.
asking about Thailand, because none of us can go to Thailand, right? Especially now. Claudia?
Yeah, for me, when he said that he wants to study or take up sports psychology, I think that's very important.
Mhm.
Just trivia, I wanted to study sports psychology 25 years ago, but I think a lot of athletes should get into that sports psychology, or a lot of aspiring. You don't have to be just a player. You don't have to be admin. You could go into the sports psychology because the mental is also as important. And I like this answer. I like the fact that he wants to do that too.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, I agree. Jay?
And here's just what I would say, guys. I can't wait to see him play for the Azkals again.
Yeah.
I mean, this additional confidence that he gained with exit the Thai league. He's gonna bring a lot the day before Azkals, and man, with those young players that they had, man, I mean, there's nowhere to go but up for the Azkals, diba?
Jay, we're losing you a bit. I think we kind of lost you. You're a bit scratchy. Si Scratchy now, bumalik si Scratchy. Dati si Crashy, si Scratchy naman yun.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But come to think of it, the Azkals, man, their goalkeeping lineup is loaded. And Patrick, he's there as a homegrown player, fighting it out with Mendoza, Falksgaard, and Neil, of course. And again, so these guys here in the Philippines, they get to go, oh, I want to be like Kuya Patrick, right? They have their role model to look forward to, not just for goalkeeping, but just simply playing for the national team. They have their idol now. And it was nice to see how he's not just holding his own in Thailand, but he's making a name.
Yes.
He's a favorite already again. Like the moment they inserted him in that Suphan Buri squad, fighting to survive relegation in 2019, like, man, he became a crowd favorite.
That's right. And it was a good save. It's a very good show. I mean, that save that he did. Okay.
So, all right. That does it for this
Good
show, this edition of Who the Heck Are We? So, anyway, our podcast is a member again of the Globally Ballin network. Our video episodes are available on video to add to our usual audio platforms. And they are on the YouTube page of Globally Ballin. So search them up and hit that subscribe button. Other shows in the network, our sister shows, check them out. We have the Globally Ballin podcast, dive into the sporting opportunities around the world with Aaron Aronson. And then we also have 5 minutes with For Your Analysis show again, where players get to review their tape and share it firsthand. We have Hang Time for you volleyball fans with Denise Dinsay again, as I can't wait for the upcoming Pro League later this year. And last but not least, among our shows, Jay and Claudia's favorites too, Behind Who the Heck Are We? An Eternity of Basketball, relive the golden era of Philippine hoops, and talk to these coaches from Tim Cone to Norman Black. And once again, this episode is sponsored by Chops to Go, your tender, yummy chicken chops with crispy chips, and check them out again when it's safe in the branches of SM Bikutan, SM South Mall, and SM North EDSA. Last but not the least, Heniluban, of course. Hit them up for your delicious and healthy adlay. I feel healthier just talking about it already. So that does it for the show again. Follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram. That does it.